Gary, you know what? Getting upset doesn't really necessarily help your argument. Okay. But at my current mood, I don't really mind that so much. But, I don't mean to call you stupid. I think it's common sense and people accept this. But, this is not a case where you can say, oh, you should just have your own theory. I can't duplicate quantum mechanics. It's not my theory. This is what I already have felt compelled to accept from studying it. Now, I've told you the minimalist issue. The two-slit experiment shows that there's a pattern that is associated with waves particles can't make. If you assume they're particles, they don't make this shape. Okay, so they make this other shape that is either shows that they're waves or something that is wave-like. The mathematics, the pattern, the geometry, it's an interference pattern. It's very recognizable if you deal with wave physics at all. Okay. So electrons, which act like particles, also act like waves. You have to explain that, And the thing about saying, I don't say that your argument is worthless. You might hear that because I say you can use intuitionalism, but remember, I'm a lot more forgiving of theists and intuitionalists and phantasmagoricals. I actually believe when I say you can use this other system, that you can use that other system, right? I actually believe that. I believe there's other systems. I just don't think the youth should be able to get away with saying that you're using physics that no longer supports your view. You say physics shows that, yes, I told you, you can reclaim your so-called determinism in the pattern of statistics, but as you know, with statistics, you don't get an exact fit. It just sort of hovers around that pattern. That's why we don't call it deterministic. Do you get it now? Because with the uncertainty principle and quantum mechanics, it's not just because your device has an error in it that there's an error. The statistics take on a different meaning, and fundamentally, you'll never get, something that fits exactly in your predicted curve. It will go to that as a limit. As you get millions and billions of samples, it'll look more and more just like that pattern, but there'll always be ones that are off the pattern. Everything will be oscillating around the pattern. That's all. Okay, and that is what physics says now. Now, you can believe something else. You can believe Aristotle's ontologies or whatever you want. I really mean that when I say you can believe these other things. But you can't go claim physics, believe something it doesn't believe anymore. Physics, the study of physics, you could say, oh, they're all crazy. There's plenty of people out there saying, oh, all the physicists are crazy and they have a conspiracy. Join the club. Fine. Excellent. I'm not in that club, and the fact of the matter is there's good reason not to be in that club, and the physics has moved on. If you have to say, well, I can't be an ally of you physics anymore, fine. Don't say that you're using what we know. We know things are determined. No, we know things that patterns, statistical patterns emerge. Okay, and that's good enough. But it's not good enough for you. You got to call me a fucktard when I point it out. But it really is good enough to find out things about the universe. It's why F equals MA is good enough. The conference report made a video. Maybe I'll make a different video. YouTube's down, so who knows? It's kind of a pain. It takes forever to upload these. But he made a video as well. And it's like, the brain is a material thing. That much is true. Okay, it's a physical thing. That much is true. But we don't know everything about the material world and physics. So we're still trying to find out, right? Now, I don't want to call anybody stupid. I'm just saying that you can't call on physics for things that physics has moved past. They found, our predictions based on those deterministic laws do no longer apply. So things are not deterministic. Now, conference report says, okay, well, you know what? The laws of Newtonian laws are mechanical. And I think even if there's other things going on, our brain is mechanical. I guess that means it's determined. Okay, well, go ahead and think that. Okay, great. But you know what? It's not like the laws of Newtonian laws apply at our scale. They don't. The laws of quantum physics apply at our scale. It's just that it's easier to do the Newtonian equations, right? And we know that with millions and millions of events, that the quantum mechanics ends up looking, if you do the quantum mechanics, the hard quantum mechanics, you'll find out it looks just like Newtonian physics at a certain level. Because you're going to want to approximate way and not look at each electron, and you're going to look at the whole pattern. But as far as physical laws, no. The laws of Newtonian mechanics don't suddenly start to apply. They're always missing the relativistic component. They're always not paying attention to the individual particle. Just because you are a creature that can ignore that doesn't mean it's not going on. It's still going on. Quantum mechanics is still going on, just because when you add it all up, it's just like, I use this example all the time, but the magnetism in the atoms of this pen, they're still going on. Just because the whole thing doesn't act like a magnet to me, it doesn't mean the magnetism in the atoms inside this pen are not going on. They're still going on. They're just canceling out when you add them all together, but they still go on. It happens still. Quantum mechanics constantly happening. And Gary, you can deny it if you want. You could say, oh, but you don't have any evidence. Dude, have you noticed I don't try that hard to say? You know why? Because there's Google. There's a university education. Just go study what they've taught. It's pretty impressive. And they've thought of these things you bring up. It's not just classical indeterminism. And the reason it's not is because that doesn't jibe with the fact that the electron produces a wave phenomena. How do you shoot one electron through a mask with two slits and get an interference pattern? All right, how do you do that? It's a wave in something. What is it a wave in? What is it a wave in? And how does it create that interference pattern one speck at a time? That's the question. How does it create the interference pattern at all? And how does it create it one speck at a time? And you say, oh, there are more quantum mechanical experiments confirming quantum mechanical predictions than anything else. And you say, oh, well, it's just mathematical. Yeah, I know it's mathematical. Now you have to come up with a model that also predicts the mathematics. And the fact is, the electron has to be a wave to do that. Okay, sorry if you're insulted or anybody else, but we just got to put ideas straight forward. And that's just the fact. You can believe whatever you want. I'm not telling you not to believe whatever you want. I'm just saying that you can't say physics proves determinism, because it doesn't. Okay, it's just like a theist trying to say blah, blah, blah about physics. I'm sorry, physics is a real particular study. You can say physics is bullshit and I would like this other study. Great. But the fact of the matter is, physics does not support the idea that there is determinism. It simply does not.